Good morning to one and all present over here. Today we are going to see about the subject CS3591 Computer Networks, which is for third year IT students. I have been allotted this subject for the art semester, that is the 5th semester. Now we will see the basic course outcomes of this subject. Whenever the student learn this subjects, they will have the following course outcomes. The first course outcomes is they can learn the basic layers and its functions in the computer networks. Second course outcomes, it tells us about the basics of how the data is going to flow from one node to another. The third outcome tells us about the various routing algorithms which is being used in the network. Fourth algorithm describes about the various protocols for the functions that is going to happen inside the network. And the last course outcomes tells us about the various application layer protocols. How do they work at the application layer level? Now coming to the syllabus, unit 1, it tells about the introduction and the application layer, which in turn discusses about the various network types, various application layer protocols which is being used in the application layer, and the layered models, layered approach, that is a TCP IP layer and the OSI model. Then the second unit deals with the transport layer, which deals about the various protocols in the transport layer, mainly about the UDP and the TCP, which is used to establish the connection, and also how to establish the congestion control and how to do the flow control of information between the source and the destination. Then the unit 3 describes about the network layer, which tells us about the various internet protocols which is being used, and also about the IP addresses version 4 and version 6. The fourth unit deals with the routing, various types of routing. Routing means how does the information takes a path from the source to the destination. The various types of routing includes the distance vector routing, link state routing, shortest path routing, etc. Then the last unit deals with the data link and the physical layers. Data link layer, how the frame is being created in this particular layer, what are the various protocols used, and when coming to the physical layer, here how the data and the signals are being generated first, and how it is being converted into the frames from this physical layer to the data link layer. So this is all about the syllabus. Now first we will see about the unit number 1, that is introduction and application layer, in which first we have to see the basics about what is a network. A network is a set of devices which is connected by using the communication link. So we say the word device, it can be also called as a node or a device. A node can be either a computer or a printer which is capable of sending or receiving data that is being generated by the other nodes. So when you take an example of a computer, you can able to connect the computer in a network, mainly LAN, which is connected using the LAN cable. We can able to share the information between the computer. So when we take the example as printer can be also connected in the network. So for example, if there is 10 systems, and in that network, if there is printer connected, means from any system you can able to take, can able to use the printer, can able to give the print command, and the printer is going to take the printout from any of the 10 systems. As I said in the example, you can able to take the printout from only one printer which is in the network. So this is a basic definition of network. Next we will see about the characteristics of networks. So in order to have the effectiveness of the network, there can be 3 characteristics. Number 1 is delivery. That is, the system or the node must be able to deliver the data to the correct destination. So the source must choose the correct destination in order to deliver the data. Secondly, accuracy. The system must deliver the data accurately. The meaning is the entire data from the source must reach the destination in an accurate manner without any loss of data in between. That is what is called as accuracy. Thirdly, timeliness. The system must deliver the data in a timely manner. So within the given time, the data must be sent from source to the destination. So there should not be any delay in this data delivery. It should be happen in a timely manner. So the three characteristics are the delivery, accuracy, and the timeliness. Now next we will see about the various components involved in a network. Now when you look into this diagram, you can see there are totally 5 components. So the first component is message. It is the information that has to be communicated from the sender to the receiver. The information can be in form of text, images, audio or video. Then sender. It is the device which sends the messages. It will create the message and send the message. That is what is called as sender. Then the third one is receiver. It is a device which receives a message sent by the sender. Fourth one is transmission medium. It is the physical part through which the message travels from the sender to the receivers. Some examples that can be considered as a transmission medium are twisted pair cable and coaxial cable through which the data will travel from source to the destination. Then the last thing is protocol. It is a set of rules that govern the data communication. Now what are those rules? That is, at what time the data has to be created by the sender, what are all the contents of the message, and at what time it has to send through the transmission medium to the receiver. So these are all what are called as the protocols, set of rules. Similarly, at the receiver side also there are certain protocols. At what time the message has to be received by the receiver, and at what time the receiver has to respond to the sender. So these are all what are called as the set of protocols which is being applied in both the sender as well as the receiver. Even though we can able to connect the two systems, but without the protocol it is not able to do the communication process. Just we can able to establish a connection. So the protocol is essential to perform the communication between the sender and the receiver. So these are all the 5 components, that is a message, sender, receiver, transmission medium and protocol. Now next we see about the transmission modes. So that is the way in which the data can be transmitted from one device to another is called as the transmission mode. It is also called as the communication mode. Now next is the types of transmission modes. There are 3 types: simplex mode, half duplex mode and full duplex mode. We see in detail about each and every types of transmission mode now. The first thing is simplex mode. So here the communication will be unidirectional. That is, the data will flow only in one direction. So either the data can be sent but it cannot be received by the receiver, or the data can only be received and not be sent. So when you look into the diagram, you can see that the flow of data is only in one direction. So either sending or receiving can happen only once. That is what is called as simplex mode. Now the second type is half duplex mode. Now here in this type of transmission mode, both the sending and the receiving of data can happen simultaneously, but only only one at a time. So when you look into this diagram, you can see there are 2 workstations, and the flow of directions between the workstation happens at the both the directions, but only one at a time. That is, for example, workstation 1 can send the data to the workstation 2. The workstation 2 will first receive the data and then it will respond to the sender. So it can happen both directions, but only one at a time, not simultaneously. This is what is called as half duplex mode. Now the third type is full duplex. That is, the communication is bidirectional. That is, both sending and receiving can happen in both directions. Okay, both the that is, the flow of data can happen between the sender and the receiver in both directions simultaneously. That is why it is called as full duplex. So 3 types of modes, that is we have seen now, that is simplex, half duplex and full duplex. Next we'll go on to what is called as this line configuration or line connectivity. So the first type is point to point. That is, there will be a dedicated communication link between the two devices. It is the most simplest form of communication. That is a direct link between two systems connected by using a Ethernet cable. That is what is called as point to point, direct connection. Second type is multi-point. Okay, so multi-point is nothing but we can able to connect two or more devices using a single shared link. And there are two kinds of multi-point connections. First one is spatial sharing. Second one is temporal sharing. That is, spatial sharing means when the several devices can share the same link simultaneously. That is what is called as spatial sharing. But whereas the temporal sharing means the users take turns. So when one user is being sharing in the link, the other device has to wait for a particular time. Then when that particular device finishes its work, the other device can able to share the link and do its work. So it is based upon the time. That's why it is also called as time sharing. So spatial sharing and time sharing, this is coming under the multi-point configuration. Now next is about the various network topologies. So topology means the arrangement of systems in a particular manner. So there are several types of topologies. We will see one by one. The first one is bus topology. Bus topology is the basic topology which is being followed in the network. That is, you can see here there is a single long cable which acts as a backbone, and which has exactly two endpoints, and we can see in between you can able to connect the systems in form of a bus like arrangement. So the data transmission can happen only in one direction from starting till the end. So this is what is called as bus topology. Second topology is ring topology. Now you can see here in this ring topology, each device has a dedicated point to point connection. Okay, so when you look into the diagram, you can see here the arrangement of systems is in form of a ring like structure, and when you take two systems, it is connected like a point to point connection. So here in this type of topology, the information is being passed along in one direction. It will start from the source and it will pass on through the other systems and it will reach the destination. When you can see the additional network device used here is the repeater. So each and every system will have its repeater through which the information will be passed on through the next node or the next system. So this is what is called as the ring topology. The third one is tree topology, which follows the hierarchical structure. So we will have the root first, followed by the leaves. So you can see in this diagram there is one root and the remaining things are called the leaf nodes. So the arrangement of system will be in form of the hierarchical structure. Then the next one is star topology. Now here in this topology, again each device will have a dedicated point to point link, but it is controlled by a central control, which is usually called a hub. So all the systems will be connected directly to the hub, and the flow of information will happen only through the hub. This is what is called as a star topology. The appearance of the systems will be in form of star like structure. Then the next one is mesh topology. So here you can see again each and every device will have a dedicated point to point link, but the main thing is you can see there are many number of connection between each and every systems, which appears to be like a mesh like structure. So when you look into the diagram, you can able to clearly understand. So in this diagram you have totally 5 systems, and each system is connected to the other systems directly, forming a mesh like structure. So now in this topology, we can able to find the number of nodes connected in the network by a given formula, that is n into n minus 1 divided by 2. Now for example, if the number of nodes is n, so when you apply that value of n in the formula, you can see that 5 into 5 minus 1 divided by 2. So 5 into 5 minus 1 is 4. So 20 divided by 2, that is totally 10 links. So that means each system will have 2 links. So totally forming 10 links. So this is what is called as the mesh topology. Now the last thing is hybrid topology. that is a combination of one or more basic topologies. Like we can combine the bus and star topology, or you can combine the ring and the mesh topology. So when you combine more the properties of one or more basic topologies, which is called as the hybrid topologies. Now next we go on to what is called as the various application layer protocol, in which the first protocol is hypertext transfer protocol. So this protocol is used to access the data on the World Wide Web, or you can also call this the internet. And also this protocol is used to transfer the data in form of plain text, hypertext, audio or video, and so on. This protocol is a stateless protocol and is also a request response protocol, and it governs the client server communication. So that means an HTTP client sends a request for which the HTTP server gives a response, and the port number used by this protocol is 80. It is a default port number. Now the features of HTTP. So it is a connectionless protocol, it is media independent, and it is a stateless protocol. Now when you look into this diagram, you can see we have a client and the server. It follows the client server approach only, because the client will first establish the connection with the server and will place a request to the server, for which the server will get the request from the client and will give the corresponding response. So thereby we can say that it follows the client server pattern of communication. Next protocol is the file transfer protocol, that is FTP. This is a standard internet protocol which is used for transmitting the files from one host to another. This is the main protocol which is responsible to transfer the file from one host to another. And also you can able to transfer the web page files from their creator, which will be acts as a server, to other computers in the internet. That is, whenever you are going to create a web page, that is what is called as a creator, we can able to transfer the files from the creator to other systems which are being connected to the internet. And also this protocol is used for downloading the files from the computer, from the servers. In simple, we can able to download the files from the internet by using this FTP, that is a file transfer protocol. Now this is the basic model of the FTP. You can see the diagram. So we have a local system here that is connected to the client. Inside the client we have the user interface, control process, and the data transfer process. When coming to the server side also has the control process and the data transfer process, and server side has a remote file system. Now this control process is responsible for establishing the connection between the client and the server, and the data transfer process is responsible for transferring the data. So this is the basic structure of FTP, that is a file transfer protocol. Now the next type of protocol is simple mail transfer protocol, and this protocol is mainly used to send and receive mail between the two nodes, or the two systems, or the two mail hosts. Now here we can have that there are two main components, that is the user agent and the mail transfer agent. So the user agent prepares a mail and puts it in an envelope. So, and the mail transfer agent transfers a mail across the internet. So user agent means the sender. Now the sender person will prepare the message. That is, when you take the email, for example any type of email, you will type the sending mail address, then we will type the CC, that is do you want to send the mail to other persons, then we will type the subject, then we will type the body of the mail. So this is how we can able to prepare the mail. This is the work done by the user agent. Then once the mail is being prepared, it has to be transferred through the destination to the receiver through email. That work is done by this mail transfer agent. Now we can see about the SMTP operations. The first one is connection setup, second one is mail transfer, then third one is connection termination. So these three phases occur regularly. So first one is connection setup. So you can see here we have this MTA client and MTA server. So okay, so first this server will send the message as 220, that is service is ready, I am ready to service you, for which the client will send a hello message saying that I am also ready. Then for that the server will send the reply as okay. Now by sending these messages we can say that the connection has been established between the client and the server. The second phase is the mail transfer. After the MTA prepares the mail, it will be transferred via the internet through the destination. Now after the mail has been transferred, we need to terminate the connection. So for that, the client first will give the quit message to the server, for which the server will close the connection by giving the message as 221 service closed. So you can see here, first is the connection setup, after which we can able to send the mail, and thirdly we can able to terminate the connection. Then the next type of protocol is post office protocol. It is also called as POP3, version number is 3. Now this protocol, it is being used in the local system only. The best example of use for this is Microsoft Outlook, which comes as a sub package in the operating system, Windows operating system. We can able to send mail by using this POP3 only between the local systems by using this particular protocol. So this is mainly used for local systems only, and this works in two modes, that is in delete mode and in keep mode. That is in delete mode, the mail will be deleted from the mailbox after it is being read. So by default, whenever we are going to read the mail, it will be automatically moved on to the trash mode. And in keep mode, after the mail is being read, it will be stored for later purpose. It will be retrieved later for purpose. So both the delete mode as well as the keep mode. Now we can see here the POP3, the client is being installed in the recipient computer as well as the server also. So the client as usual will open the connection, and it will what we can do is the client will log in using the username and the password. When it is okay, in the sense we can able to start preparing the email, and it will be sent to the server, that is a remote mail server. So this is how this POP3 works. Then the next one is simple network management protocol. So this protocol is being used to manage a network. So that means how much number of systems that can be connected in a network, what are all the network devices that has to be used, and this work is being done by this particular protocol, that is a simple network management protocol. Okay, so it provides a set of operations like monitoring and managing the internet. So first is the SNMP manager. Okay, it is a host that runs on the client program. Okay, and this manager has the values that is kept in the database, that is how many number of the host can be connected to the network, how many number of messages being transmitted. This is being stored in the manager. Then the agent is a router that runs in the SNMP server program. It also keeps the data in database information, which stores the information about the client. Now you can see about the SNMP management components. So here we can see that the management is being achieved through the two protocols, the structure of management information and management information base. So now till now what we have seen, I will give a small recap. First we have seen about the various basic definition of the network and various characteristics of networks, and then the components of the network, and then we went on to what is called as the various topologies of networks. And after seeing the types of topologies, we have seen about the line configuration or the connectivity, and now we have seen about the various protocols which is being used in the application layer. In the next video we will continue about the remaining part of the unit. Thank you.